Thank you for listening to the Matt's Movie Reviews podcast, available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Stitcher. Also, please follow Matt's Movie Reviews on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Reddit, Instagram, and MeWe. And of course, be sure to visit mattsmoviereviews.net for the latest reviews, top 10 lists, and more. Now, on to the show.
Oh, it's your mom. Okay. Hey, Mrs. C.
We were just in the middle of eating.
Jesse, what do you want for Christmas?
I already have what I want. True love.
Jesse, I think I'm holding you back.
Are you breaking up with me?
Baby, we did things right, you know? We kept the fights clean and the sex dirty. I'd be happy to keep servicing your needs if it won't complicate things.
I just spoke to my son. Breaking up with you right before Christmas?
Yeah.
Sean doesn't want to come home. That's fine. But your family, Jesse.
Mr. Mrs. C. It feels right to be here.
Humbug, that's too strong, 'cause it is my favorite holiday.
Get the dogs.
Hey, Polo, come on.
Oh my. Hello.
Name's David. Fall under the title of nephew. And Liz. God, if you were 2 years younger, we'd have to try not to get pregnant. Hey, Becky, nice to see you.
Remember when we were kids and I threw my whole cookie jar at you?
I should probably help with the,
Lights. Have you been standing here the whole time? Hello. Yes.
I hope Jesse's having a good time.
They're having fun. Now, take a sip of purple drink.
Is this safe?
Just enjoy the moment. Have a nice glass of lean together.
I haven't done something this spontaneous in forever.
Yeah, way more cough syrup at the moment than grape soda.
It's very full body.
Is it too much?
not at all.
Now she is trying to bang Sean's cousin. We are dealing with a top shelf Christmas.
Hey, surprise, everybody. Jesse. It's like it's meant to be.
Whichever path you take, I support it. I know that Sean can be wild sexually, and I want you to know that comes from my side of the family. I'm sorry.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
It's important that we stay connected during this busy holiday season. So, drop those lights and pull out your...
Hello and welcome to the Matt's Movie Reviews podcast. I am your host, Matthew Pejkovic, and this is episode number 483. Releasing on the 2nd of December exclusively on AMC Plus is Christmas with the Campbells, a romantic comedy that tells the story of a recently dumped photographer who spends Christmas with her ex-boyfriend's family, where she finds love and purpose during the merriest time of the year, successfully blending the sweet merriment of the traditional Christmas movie with the raunchy tone of an R-rated comedy. Christmas with the Campbells also marks the latest film to be directed by Clare Niederpruem, who I'm glad to say joins me now on the podcast. Claire, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
So it's really interesting just looking at the people involved with this project. So you got Vince Vaughn as producer and writer, and he has his own pedigree of Christmas stuff in the background, you know, Fred Claus, etc. And then you have other people as well, like Peter Billingsley, who, of course, a lot of people know from A Christmas Story. He's a very successful in his own right as a producer and director. And then you have yourself, Claire. You have your own kind of like background with Christmas movies as a director, as an actor, as a writer. This is pretty much like a super team of Christmas movies that you guys put together here, isn't it?
It is. I didn't even realize that, but you're right. We all we all have many things on our resume that involve Christmas. But yeah, that's probably why we love it so much.
So when you get the script for Christmas with the Campbells, and then you start to read it, and you start to see the dialogue, the language, the very kind of like witty banter, but very raunchy banter in it as well, you were thinking to yourself, what exactly? You think to yourself, this is the Christmas movie I haven't done yet that I really didn't get my hands on. Is that what you're kind of thinking there?
Yes, absolutely. And what I loved about it the first time I read the script, you know, some of the scenes start off kind of feeling like this typical, somewhat cliche scene from a Christmas movie, which I loved about it. And then the language will come in, or a dirty joke will come in, or just adding the comedy within that world was something that totally drew me in, because I'm used to reading a lot of these Christmas scripts, and a lot of times it's just sweet and very family friendly. And I love that this one kind of took that and turned it on its head a bit.
I think what really works for the film is that, the blending of both of these kind of very different takes of entertainment. It's not novelty. It really gets the balance right. It's that mix of sugar and spice, right? It kind of gets it all together. You as a filmmaker, Joe, once you have your script and you have this in front of you and you've done Christmas movies before, do you kind of visualize what's happening on the screen? And do you kind of also think about how the contradictions in regards to what's on the screen in regards to, Christmas iconography and the color and everything like that, and the clashing of the language, how that's going to kind of play out? I mean, is your filmmaking brain already processing a lot of this stuff as you're reading the script?
Yeah, it did. I mean, we really found that. I was super collaborative with Vince and Dan, the other writer, and Peter, the producer, as well as the actors. But there was definitely a sense of like wanting to create this world that looked very picturesque Christmas, to then also have a little bit of contrast to what the harsh language that the characters are saying, So like, for example, our lead girl, she's in all of these like very, buttoned up, very sweet sweaters and stuff. But then like the boys are saying dirty things to her. And it was just kind of playing with that visual of like beautiful Christmas, and then adding just using the dialogue to add the comedy was really fun. And we really wanted it to have the magic of Christmas. Vince loves Christmas and loves that feeling of like the family around the fire and stuff. So we knew we wanted a lot of snow, and we knew we wanted, the twinkly lights and frame, and we wanted to give it that special Christmas magic, and stay true to that. And then just let the comedy come through with the dialogue and the performances, so it's like just having that big, beautiful backdrop of what a family Christmas feels like, and then, allowing the script to tell the story.
The Matt's Movie Reviews podcast is brought to you by TeePublic. TeePublic is the world's largest marketplace for independent creators to sell their work on the highest quality merchandise. With over 1.2 million designs, TeePublic is sure to have something you will love. The Matt's Movie Reviews podcast is brought to you by Amazon. The world's leading online store, Amazon is your first stop to buy a wide range of products at competitive prices with fast delivery times. Amazon is also a world-class entertainment hub that includes Prime Video, Audible, Twitch, Amazon Music, and more. Sign up with Amazon today and experience the best in online shopping and entertainment. Please support Matt's Movie Reviews on Patreon. Get access to exclusive content, request movie reviews and top 10 lists, and help support my work. Please click on the Patreon link in the description below. Speaking of the look of the film, the environment is such a pivotal part of the movie. This was shot in Utah, right?
Yeah.
The town itself that you're shooting in the houses, are they actual places in Utah, or are they places you guys had to kind of put together on set for the film?
It was all on location in Utah. So we found our house, which was like a half hour away from Salt Lake City, kind of further out in the mountains. And we also spent a couple days actually up in the mountains of Utah, and all that snow is real. We shot it in January of last year, or I guess this year, last January. And we had 2 different snowstorms come through while we were filming, which was great. We loved that. But yeah, it was all shot. And then we shot some stuff downtown Salt Lake, some of the shops and stuff that you see. But yeah, it was all on location, and most of our crew was local to Utah, and they were wonderful. And it's such a great state to shoot in, and because of how much snow they get, it automatically feels more Christmassy.
It's really interesting. I've talked to different directors about filming in different elements. So I've talked to someone about filming in the desert. I've talked to people about filming in water, filming in snow. Does that filming in snow, does any type of like technical difficulties that come with equipment and filming in those type of conditions? I mean, do you really have to take like a lot of pre-planning to make sure that your cameras and your lighting and everything else doesn't get affected by the elements? Because you want to capture this stuff, but you don't want to also be in a state where, something might go wrong with your equipment because of the great snowstorm that you saw the night before.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, snow is beautiful to film. And when it is that winter time, you get that low light, which is nice, so because it's essentially just like a big bounce board on the ground. So we like to, use a lot of the natural light while filming with and in a lot of snow. But the only thing you really run into is like, if it is too cold, like your cameras will start to have problems and they'll just kind of shut down, and you'll see the poor like ACs trying to like warm up the camera. And the poor like focus pullers their hands are frozen and they're trying to pull focus without being able to feel their fingertips. So it's really more of a temperature thing than the snow. The snow is beautiful to film. And it actually usually, like, we were getting a lot of like the big snowflakes, which was great because it showed up on camera. But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, that, and then keeping your actors warm and asking them to do multiple takes when they're freezing their butt off. That's more like the issues that you run into when filming in a place like that, which we did. I mean, I think we had a night shoot where it got down to like -10 degrees. I mean, wow. It was crazy. Well, Fahrenheit, but, it's Celsius, but it's really cold. So, it's just like keeping the cameras warm. But it's so beautiful. You don't really need to do much to make the image prettier. You just got to make sure the camera can turn on and that your actors' faces don't freeze.
Speaking about your actors, essentially you're playing with a cast of 6 main players here, and all of them are terrific at what they do. I mean, you got Justin Long, Alex Moffat, his stuff with SNL. You got Julia Duffy and George Wendt, who are just so fantastic at the classic comedies of American TV. And then you got Brittany Snow playing kind of like the straight lady in the middle. And what's really interesting as well is that the production company, Vince Vaughn's production company, Wild West Productions, they're known a lot for their kind of improvisational styles and stuff. So when you have those filmmakers and you have a cast like Justin Long and et cetera, who are known to be really good with improvisations and such, you yourself being an actor and now a director on this film, do you allow kind of like a little bit of play in regards to the dialogue? Do you allow a little bit of play in regards to what's happening on screen, or do you like to stick to what's in the script?
I love to play, and I had Vince with us on set most the time, and he loves to play, and he would throw lines at the actors all the time while we're filming. And it was so fun to see these actors just be able to roll with it and to add their own as well. Like Justin Long and Alex Moffat in their own right are wonderful improvisers. So, it was so many takes of trying different lines and coming up with different jokes. And we shot this movie in 17 days. So we were on a really, really tight schedule. So of course I'm like worried about time while they're doing it, but it was so fun to see that and to just, and for me, like to learn how to cover that, how to make sure that I'm capturing that magic that happens when the actors are improvising and making sure that it's coming across on film, and talking with my DP and making sure that, we're covered with all the different lines coming in. But I mean, when you have a cast like that and you have, Vince Vaughn writing the script, I mean, of course, like improvising is such a big part of that. Now I would always make sure to get a take that is true to the script. Because I think, you also don't want to get too crazy, because things can be funny in the moment, but then they don't serve the story. So we always made sure that we had like one clean, what we would call like clean take that's just scripted. And then from there, play as much as we can. I mean, honestly, I wish we had more time to play. It was so fun to see this crew and this cast, just be able to sprinkle in all of those jokes.
Well, do you think there's potential for perhaps Christmas with the Campbells to reunite a year after for another Christmas movie? I mean, to see where Justin Long and Brittany Snow's characters are at after that point, because I don't want to give anything away, but, there is life after the credits roll, right? So do you think there could be potential depending on how well the film goes?
I hope so. I mean, how fun of a family to follow, right? And there's some love stories that are just starting off in this movie as well, you know? So yeah, it would be really fun to see where everyone is in a year. And gosh, I could only hope so.
So my final question here, a moment in the film or a symbol in the film is this thing called the wishing tree. So it's kind of like this kind of like almost kind of like a fantastical mythological kind of tree that if people find it in the snow-driven, lands of Utah, they can make a wish and it will come true. So you find yourself out there in Utah, you come face to face with this wishing tree. What's the wish that you're going to make in front of this tree?
Oh, my wish?
Mm-hmm.
We're not supposed to tell our wishes.
I know, but the tree's not real either, but that's okay.
Okay. I wish that we get a sequel of Christmas with the Campbells.
I was hoping you would say that because that's what I wish as well, because I really did enjoy this film. I did enjoy these characters. And for everyone out there listening, December 2nd, AMC Plus, Christmas with the Campbells. This is the Christmas movie you can watch after the kids go to bed. You got your leftovers, you got your eggnog, put it together, watch it with the adults. And really enjoy it because I really did enjoy this film, Claire. And it's been so fantastic to talk to you today. Congratulations with the movie. And I hope we get to talk again. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching the Matt's Movie Reviews channel. Please subscribe for more reviews, podcast interviews, and exclusive content. Also, if you would like to request a review and support my work, please join my Patreon via the link in the description below.